Thank you for joining me on 13 Plus. I'm Cali Lichter, and this is On the Docket, a weekly recap of crime and court in and around the state of Michigan. This week, we talked to the attorney of a man hoping to appeal his murder sentence after over 30 years. And a man gets just years in prison after hitting and killing a mother on a bike ride in front of her daughter while he was drunk. All that and more is On the Docket. We're hearing from the attorney of a man convicted of raping and killing a young Battle Creek girl more than 3 decades ago. Jason Simons is appealing his sentence of life behind bars without parole. Our Lauren Baker spoke with Simons' attorney, who says this isn't about changing his conviction, it's about his lawful right to appeal his sentence.
In a matter of months, the attorney for Jason Simons will appeal his current sentencing before the Michigan Court of Appeals.
Because Mr. Simons was originally convicted by a jury trial, he has an absolute right to an appeal.
Attorney Alona Sharon will help present findings that show Simons' sentencing should be changed. At 16, he was convicted for the 1994 rape and killing of 5-year-old Nicole Vinotti in Battle Creek. Originally, he was given life without parole, but because the U.S. Supreme Court ruled it's unconstitutional for juveniles to be sentenced to life without parole in 2016, he received a new life sentence during a hearing in 2023.
Even though it's been so many years, because of Miller and Montgomery, he was entitled to what's called a Miller hearing. At the end of that Miller hearing, the judge reimposed the sentence of life without the possibility of parole, and he has an absolute right to appeal that sentence.
A couple of weeks ago, 13 on Your Side spoke to Vinotti's mother, Robin Boynanato, about the possibility of Simons one day being set free.
I think it's ridiculous. You already been sentenced to a year second life term in prison. Why don't you just accept it?
Sharon says while she understands how hard situations like these can be for the victim's family, she says Simons has made changes to lead to a new sentence.
And the fact remains that for Mr. Simons at his Miller hearing, there was overwhelming proof that he is not only capable of rehabilitation, but that he is rehabilitated. His conduct within the prison is exemplary. He has accomplished a tremendous amount that for your typical prisoner is pretty much impossible.
That appeal hearing is taking place on November 13th, 2025, and it could take days, if not weeks or months, before a decision is made. If that decision rules in Simons' favor, this doesn't mean he'll be released from prison. His case would be sent to trial court for a new sentence. And it's back to school season, and experts say it's also a good time to talk with students about staying safe online. Kent County Sheriff's Office reports cybercrimes like sextortion are going up every year. Our Aaron Sullivan spoke with the office about how students can be smart and safe online.
Sextortion thrives in silence. When kids don't speak up, when adults don't speak up, when something has happened to them, obviously they're going to try to fix it themselves, and it's just too much to bear.
Social media users are at risk to falling victim to sextortion, a cybercrime where criminals threaten to expose sexual images to get victims to do something they don't want to do, like sending photos or money. At first, criminals start by starting what seems to be a friendly conversation online, gaining a user's trust.
Do exchange photos, then they completely flip the script and say, all right, now that I have these photos, either give me money or I'm going to send this to all of your family and friends.
To many social media users, these criminals' fake profiles go completely undetected and are difficult to spot.
A lot of times we see them using AI. The use of AI is up 1,000% of them using it to make these fake profiles. And they just want to look like someone that these kids are going to accept and want to be friends with. And they'll gain their trust through that way and talk to them like any other kid would talk to them.
Officials recommend talking with children about not accepting friend requests from strangers. They also urge parents to keep an open line of communication this school year.
Keep an open door with them. Always have a conversation and have that conversation early. Let them know that, hey, I know about this. I know that this can happen. I know you're on social media. I want you to be safe. I want you to be careful. But if something does happen, don't feel like you can't come to me.
Up next on the docket, we take a deeper look at the emotional sentencing of Yoel Rojas Chenito, who hit and killed a woman while she rode her bike with her daughter. Hear from the daughter and Rojas Chenito up next.
Hear her voice.
An Allegan County man is headed to prison after hitting and killing a woman on her bicycle while he was driving drunk. He later admitted to leaving the scene. The crash happened in the summer of 2024 in front of the victim's young daughter, and her family shared their grief in court. Rojas Chenito was sentenced on one count of operating while intoxicated, causing serious injury, with one count of operating while intoxicated, causing death, one count of failure to stop at a scene while at fault, causing death, and one count of operating license suspended, revoked, denied, causing death, being dropped with a plea deal. All that and more in this sentencing breakdown.
Your Honor, my name is Christina Wallace, sister of Tracy Lynn Decker. In less than a month, it'll be exactly 1 year since I lost my only sister, leaving me with no living adult family members. Tracy's daughter, my beautiful niece Braylon, is the only family I have left now. And it will be exactly 1 year that my niece was brutally and incomprehensibly deprived of her mom as a direct result of the defendant's selfish and intentional disregard for the safety of others. But that all ended on September 19th, 2024, as she was bicycling home with my niece on a peaceful early autumn night. My sister and niece had decided to ride their bikes for Thursday night karaoke in town for a fun night out together. On the way home, they stopped at the local Dollar General to buy a gallon of milk, cat litter for her cats, and some flashlights for the ride home. After the store, while on their bicycles, a drunk driver, who had been to another local store to buy even more alcohol, even though he had already been drinking all throughout the day, violently struck Tracy's bicycle, killing her right in front of her daughter. This drunk driver then fled the scene, abandoning my sister on the road, and went home to continue drinking, and then fell asleep. His depraved indifference to his actions is incomprehensible. In an instant, not only was my niece left without her mother, even worse, she was forced to witness the accident that caused her mom's death, and had to report it to a neighbor, and then to the police by calling 911. Scared and alone on a dark road at night, my then 12-year-old niece was suddenly put in the most horrifying scenario anyone could imagine for a child. On the morning of September 20th, 2024, I learned that my only sister had been killed the night before. A reckless drunk driver did to my sister what cancer and depression couldn't. Giving this statement is one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do, but my sister deserves to have her story heard. She is just not going to be some nameless victim. She was Tracy Lynn Decker, sister, mother, and friend. And above all, I want this court and the whole world to know that my sister's actions on that fatal night, September 19th, 2024, helped to save her daughter's life before Tracy was hit and killed. The last selfless act of a mother who loved her daughter so much that she sacrificed her own life to protect her. Tracy's hit and run death was a tragic incident, but it was not an accident. There was nothing accidental about it. Tracy's death was a direct result of the deliberate, selfish, and heartless actions of a drunk driver. On the night of September 19th, 2024, a completely avoidable death occurred, destroying the lives of those who loved my sister, especially my young niece. The defendant will never really know what he has done to me and to my niece. Who knows, he may even forget about my sister in time. But I will never forget. And my niece who's still too young to understand the impact of what going through the rest of her life without a mother means. She will never forget.
12 is an age where everyone, an age where you can't even imagine your life without her. And I, of course, well, I don't have that, do I? Mainly because someone doesn't know how to just simply listen to the law. It's not that hard to just stay home when you're drunk, is it? I mean, I understand your thinking might be a bit impaired. You might not think correctly and process things the right way. But still, you can stay out from behind a wheel. And, I mean, my mom has survived many things, as Megan already said. And she was a very nice person. She was the kind of person who, if she only had one of something left and someone needed it, even if she needed it more, she would still give it to them, just because she liked to help people. She always tried to do what she could to make things better for other people. She would do really whatever she could. And at the time, we were struggling with money and stuff. So she would always try to do whatever she could to make sure that we could, you know, go through life, get everyday necessities, food, water, keep the electricity on, all that stuff. Stuff for our pets. And she always was trying to, like, I don't know, just make things better for me. And I know she always felt really bad because she couldn't always provide properly. And she didn't always have enough money to give me everything that I wanted or needed. And I know she felt really bad for that. Even though it was out of her control. And I love my mom a lot. Because honestly, I would do anything if it meant that I could just, I don't know, hear her voice or see her or hug her or anything. But I can't do that anymore. I have to go see their mom in a funeral home. I have to go see their mom waiting, like, with a white sheet over her on the road. How many people have to see their own mother die, be hit by a car, and then they have to run to one of their mom's friends' houses? It was dark. I couldn't see. The last things I heard her say, she couldn't even get it finished her last sentence. Honestly, I skipped school that morning because I just didn't feel good in the morning, and honestly, I'm glad I did. If I didn't, I would feel even more guilty than I do. I can't really even describe how I feel most days. But as of now, I feel, sometimes I feel guilty. Like it's my fault, even though it's not. Like maybe if I had just decided I wanted to stay home instead of go to school and do something other than it's to be okay. And I'll never really understand why it had to be me. I mean, I lost everything. My house, my mom, pets. I lost some of my friends too. I mean, really, my whole life has changed.
He didn't even know he hit him. Kept going. Went back, either drank more or just passed out. When you look at the body cam, everybody there had wet themselves. They were so drunk. His response was, "What have you learned from this case? Not to trust any friends." I was peer pressured. He lists his buddies. They insisted that I drink. That's remarkable. That's a fundamental misunderstanding of why we're here, what happened that night, of this entire process.
In speaking with him in the time I've been on this case, I believe we're a little bit out of context in terms of the language barrier. Some he doesn't understand. I assure the court he does understand the gravity of the situation, and he's had significant amount of time to think about the decision, the result, and how he has to live with that for the rest of his life. He came here to build a better life, to make money, to help provide for his family that remains in Mexico. And when he was there, he was not a drinker. But when he moved here, doing the things he was working in the fields, he was around the influence, and he let that overcome it. And he started to engage in that due to the difficulties of being here, as well as being away from his family. The time he's been in jail, the time he may go to prison, that's the time that he can know he's not providing for his family. And that's hard for him, it's painful for him.
No más que me perdone o me disculpen a las familias que les afecté.
I just want to say I'm asking the family that to forgive me for what I had done.
Pues he aprendido mucho de la Biblia y le sigo.
I have learned a lot from the Bible. I always going to follow the Bible.
You have made a terrible decision to drink to the level of intoxication that you achieved on that night, and to then get behind the wheel. You have deprived a now 13-year-old girl of her mom. And I know you're a parent, and so I hope you feel how crushing that would be. She had to see her mother taken from the bicycle, and it was very graphically described as sparks as the bike was dragged under the vehicle. Now, I don't know if Braylon has come to terms and is fully addressed these issues in counseling, but that is the type of trauma that will follow her for the rest of her adult life. And I know you had to be awakened a couple of times in your bedroom. I cannot contemplate someone striking someone on a bicycle and then proceeding to just happily go to bed. Not only has she lost her mother, she's lost all her familiar surroundings and probably one of the few things that brought her comfort in those moments. I'm going to sentence you to 36 months to 60 months in MDOC. You're going to have let me find it, I'm sorry. You're going to have 340 days credit. I hope you spend the remainder of the 36 months continuing to read the Bible and work on yourself and your accountability. I want to extend the court's personal apology that you have had to go through this. And if I was not limited by the law in this situation, Mr. Rojas Chanito would be headed to prison for a much longer period of time. I hope you understand that.
Next on the docket, local parishioners react to the mass shooting in Minnesota. And our Tanner Holbrook is on the ground in Minneapolis with the latest. The acting U.S. attorney for Minnesota says the shooter in August 27th school church attack was, quote, obsessed with killing children. Investigators say Robin Westman's manifesto was filled with hate directed at children, religious groups, minorities, and President Trump. Westman killed 2 children and injured many others during a morning mass. Our Tanner Holbrook is in Minneapolis with the latest details.
The sun has set and risen over Minneapolis since a shooter opened fire inside Annunciation Catholic Church. 2 children were killed in the gunfire. Officials say an additional victim injured by the gunfire has since been identified, bringing the total to 15 children injured. 3 adult parishioners were also shot. They were gathered in the church for a back-to-school mass, marking just the 3rd day of the school year.
And now they're faced with, how do you go back? How do you put it back together? It's the start of school.
As the community continues to mourn, police are digging into the shooter's motive. Officials confirming 23-year-old Robin Westman used 3 different guns during the attack, and they were all bought legally and recently. Police say Westman shot through the glass windows, where they found 116 rifle rounds inside the church.
This is an unthinkable, completely senseless act. Violence perpetrated against children worshiping at Mass. And no investigation, no evidence will ever be able to make sense of such an unthinkable tragedy.
Police have executed search warrants at the church and 3 other locations. We're told officers recovered guns during the search. As the investigation grows, so do the memorials, filling the street corners and outside steps of a place of worship that has become the center of tragedy.
Tanner Holbrook, 13 on your side.
Catholics all over the country are reacting to the school shooting, and that includes Grand Rapids. Our Lauren Baker spoke to some who say this should never have happened.
Standing outside the Cathedral of St. Andrew, we were able to speak to people who were in Mass as the news of the shooting was unfolding in Minneapolis. Among the people that we spoke to, many of them had the same message. A church is a place for peace, not violence.
The pain of what happened in Minneapolis,
it's heartbreaking. Things like that should never occur.
Can be felt miles away.
We keep praying for peace, but violence just seems to increase, doesn't it?
By parishioners in a different area code who say,
I mean, you walk in and all you feel is peace. And then to think of that being disrupted by gunfire is sad. It's sad.
The news of the Catholic school shooting that killed children and injured dozens others has rocked people like Melissa DeSoto.
It's heartbreaking that someone could come and intrude in a space that's meant for peace and love and caring,
And she isn't alone.
It's not frustrating, it's heartbreaking. They go to church to praise Jesus, not to be shot. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless.
DeSoto says her church, Cathedral of St. Andrew, has security if anything happens. But she says it shouldn't be like that.
I mean, you can't be afraid to come to church. I mean, you shouldn't have to feel afraid.
And now, while the details unfold as to why this happened, these parishioners say all they can do is pray.
My heart goes out to them. I feel terrible. May God bless them all.
And continue to keep their faith strong.
We have to unite against that.
As they join a nationwide community of believers, ready to support those whose lives forever changed Wednesday morning.
There isn't any word if there will be a special Mass to honor the victims of the shooting, but as soon as we learn those details, we'll be sure to let you know. Reporting in Grand Rapids for 13 on your side, I'm Lauren Baker.
What's the best way for parents to talk to their children about this school shooting? Experts say it's important to make sure children have a safe environment to express their emotions. Our Nick Nelson spoke to a local expert who says it's important to give your child and yourself room to properly discuss the tragedy.
The shooting at a Minneapolis Catholic school that resulted in the deaths of children has shaken the nation, and health experts say the news can be especially hard on parents as well as emergency workers. Dr. Ben Abbo is a physician and expert on EMS response. He says events like mass shootings can have a deep emotional impact on those responding to it.
They might be responding to, taking care of children when they have the children the same age at home, or it's in their neighborhood.
Events involving children can be difficult for parents to explain to their children. Brina T. director of clinical services at Wedgwood Christian Services, says there are signs to watch out for that can tell parents if the event is seriously impacting them, such as loss of appetite, isolated behavior, or loss of sleep.
All of those things can be correlated to having an unhealthy response to the event. And so you need to be sure that you're kind of watching daily healthy habits and how have they changed since or following the date or the day that they heard the details about the tragic event.
According to T. the first thing a parent or caregiver should do is stop and evaluate where their children and themselves are emotionally.
We maybe need to ourselves reach out to our support systems or reach out to our community networks, have a conversation with an expert if you're at that point, because you need to be able to be in a good headspace.
That full interview with T. Meyer can be found on our website right now, 13onyourside.com. And next on the docket, a dispatcher shakes it off after announcing Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's engagement over Scanner. Stick with us. Now for some lighter news to end the docket. A Lansing dispatcher accidentally announced Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's announcement over the scanner. And no, really. Police dispatcher Julia Jordan accidentally added a dash of celebrity gossip to her public service this week when she shared Taylor Swift is engaged over a hot mic. Take a listen.
Taylor Swift is engaged. I know. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I didn't look that close. Go ahead.
876, I'll be clear. You had an open mic there. That's great news about Taylor Swift.
Go ahead. Dispatch. I'm clear. Hello? Yeah. Aren't you happy about Taylor Swift?
938 Center, I think you have a stuck floor mic or something.
I am done. I'm hanging up now.
Thanks for joining me in this episode of On the Docket on 13 Plus. We have new episodes releasing every week, taking you into the courtroom for the latest updates and deep dives on crime in and around West Michigan. In the meantime, we'll bring you the latest on crime and court, both on air and online at 13onyourside.com. And when breaking news affects you and your community, we stream live on 13 Plus with what you need to know right when you need to know. We'll see you next time with updates on What's on the Docket.